everyone. Welcome to week 4 of So You Wanna Blog. My name is Michelle D. Garrett. I am here tonight. Okay, y'all, I'm doing something different. I'm utilizing Ecamm tonight, and so it's new for me, and so I'm excited to be trying out a new platform to live stream from, because I can do everything from my desktop, and I am able to kind of do some fun pop-ups and things with it as well. Hey there, Alan. Thank you so much for jumping on. I appreciate you. Let's see, and I'm on the right account. Let me make sure I'm on the right account. I am. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, hi everyone. My name is Michelle D. Garrett. I scope over at Diva MD Garrett, and I am a full-time blogger. And so each week I come on here and I share tips and information on how to get yourself started with blogging. And we are in week 4, so there are week 5, so there are 4 other episodes where we have been walking through the steps on how you can either launch or revitalize a blog that you may have on your personal platform. And so we have covered different topics such as what is a blog, the blogging basics. We've talked about SEO, search engine optimization, so that you can get yourself found. And we have also talked about how to create a content calendar so you can know what you're going to write about and make it easy for you to create content that you're able to share with your readers. And so by popular demand, last week we were having this conversation, I have created a simple printable that you can use. The link is down there at the bottom, bit.ly/simple content calendar. And you can go, and it's a Google Drive document. You can save it, print it out, and it will give you the general outline as to how to create a simple content calendar, create your keywords, how you're going to post, how frequently you're going to post, and so you can make different copies of it based on how many you need. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in. Yay! Okay, so I love that I'm able to see who's here on the screen, so I don't even need my phone. But I'm going to go ahead and share my broadcast, and I'm going to share it via Twitter as well. So sharing means caring. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Dusty Foot Philos, that's an interesting screen name, says, what is the difference between blogging versus copywriting? Blogging is when you really are creating your own content and blogging is sometimes going to be a little bit more casual conversation. Copywriting is really when you're creating content for other people, which there are some bloggers that are copywriters as well. Hey there, Jiggy Mig. Thank you so much for jumping in. I appreciate you. So let's talk about tonight's topic. We are going to be talking about how to syndicate your blog post. So the title tonight is I wrote a blog post. Now what? What are we going to do? How are you going to get that information out to the people that need to see it? Because it's one thing, you have this great article that you've written. You have SEO'd it so that people are able to find it organically, which is great. So if you can get that Google juice, as I like to call it, you can watch the SEO. I think that was episode 3, where we talked about the Google juice and how great it is to have people organically find your things. But you also want to put some work into it so that you can continue to build your community and find new followers and find more readers and get people to see the great content that you have and share it with other people as well. Thank you, Shabri, for joining and staying up late with us. I know it's a little past your bedtime, so I appreciate you. So let me make sure I did this right. Yay! Okay, so the 3 things that we're going to talk about tonight on ways to syndicate your blog post is social media. So how to utilize social media to share out your blog content. Having internal sharing tools in place on your website so that it's easy for the people that are connected with you to be able to share it. And then also the importance of having a newsletter. Okay, and the importance of having a newsletter, that is something that we've kind of touched on before in previous episodes. But I want to make sure that we really are building up our newsletters because it is so important to have one. Hey there, Lala. Thank you so much for jumping on. I missed karaoke. I hate that, but I am going to have to go back and watch the replays so that I can see it. Let's see. There we go. So the first thing we're going to talk about is social media, because everybody's on social media. You're here on Periscope. Hi! So once you write a blog post article, one of the things that I will tell people to do is to make it easy. You know, what's that thing, KISS? Keep it simple. Keep it super simple. We'll use the PG friendly version of it. But you want to keep it super simple for your community to share your content on social media. Lala, you're totally okay. I had already seen the lineup, so I knew that it was going to probably run over a little bit. And it's okay, because that allowed me to make me some tea. It allowed me to make some tea and get my little ones ready for bed tonight. So you're totally okay. I appreciate you. I knew you were probably had that in the back of your mind while y'all were finishing up. So it's okay. I appreciate you, though, for apologizing. But I promise you it's okay. But you want to keep it really simple and easy for your followers to share on social media. But you also want to make sure that you're putting in the work and sharing on your social media platforms as well. And so some of the platforms that I like to tell people to make sure that they're connected with, definitely Facebook, because Facebook is where a lot of people are. It's really simple and easy to share your content on Facebook. If you have a Twitter account, it's easy to share tweetable moments, and we'll talk a little bit about that, but it's easy to really connect and use hashtags to share on Twitter, Pinterest, and we're gonna talk about how to create some really simple graphics for you to be able to share your content and make it easy for people to share it, but make it so that people want to share your content on Pinterest. Pinterest is actually a very popular search engine, believe it or not. You know, people use Google, but a lot of people go to Pinterest, and it's not just people that are searching out like recipes or how to like styling and fashion things. People search all kinds of content on Pinterest because they're visual. A lot of people are visual learners, so they want to be able to see something that is going to be able to help them. And so rather than doing an image search on Google, they will do a search on Pinterest to get information as well. Alan, I have missed you too. I have not been scoping as much with our busy summer schedule, but I'm so glad that you popped in to join me and support me tonight here on PGTV. I really appreciate you. You are awesome. And as y'all are coming in, thank you so much for tapping those 3 dots and sharing this out with your followers and with your community. I appreciate it. I really do. Okay, so social media, you want to decide which platforms are best for you, okay, that you're going to promote your content on. Facebook, we talked about Facebook, we talked about Pinterest, we talked about Twitter, Google Plus. I know a lot of people kind of like, is anybody still on Google Plus? Yes, people still use Google Plus. Also, Google Plus, again, Google likes their own platforms. So when you're sharing things on Google Plus, it's going to be easier to search for it on Google as well. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. We'll chit chat more when I do my own scope on my channel, but I'm sorry. But I've been thinking about you, Alan. I really have. I'm glad. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. I know that is so painful. Google Plus you want to use, and y'all, live streaming. What better way, especially if you're already live streaming on a regular basis, but what better way to promote your blog content but to talk about it via live stream? So whether you're doing a Periscope, whether you are doing a Facebook Live, whether you're creating, your own videos and just uploading them instead of doing it live, or whether you're doing it on YouTube as well. And so one of the great things about using Periscope and using Facebook Live and all of those things is that you can easily embed those videos into your blog content so that people can find it that way as well. And Google likes, we talked about this with our SEO conversation, Google likes content that has video in it as well. So when you are including different sources of video within your blog post, it is actually going to help you to rank a little bit higher within Google, because they're like, oh, this person has this great content, but they also have this video that people are going to watch as well. Lala says she's a social media junkie. I love it. I love it. Mommy in Color says, I never got the hang of Google. You're not the only one. I promise you. You are not the only one that fully got the hang of Google Plus. Essentially what I do when I'm sharing to Google Plus, I am on WordPress. And so I have it set up to where it automatically shares out to my Google Plus account so that it does. And then I will schedule out time maybe once or twice a week where I actually go onto Google Plus and I will engage and interact and maybe post some just other random things on Google Plus so that my account over there is not just a whole bunch of social media shares from my blog as well. But I used to put, I'm not going to hold that against you, Alan, at all. I won't hold that against you. The Steelers, really? This might end our social media live streaming friendship. Okay, we're not going to get into. Hey there, Tanae. Thank you so much for jumping in. I appreciate you. So you want to make sure, at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you are doing your due diligence and sharing your content out on your social media challenges, on your social media channels as well, so that you are able to really give people a little bit more of an inside view. A lot of times when I share things on Facebook, I typically will ask some type of question that goes along with that blog article. So if I'm doing a blog post that says, 7 ways to be visible on live streaming, I may ask, here's this great article on how you can show up and be seen on your favorite live streaming channel. What platform do you prefer to use? So then that way that, people will see that article, they'll want to be on live streaming, but they can also use that as an opportunity to really start to engage and have a conversation about what their favorite live streaming channels are, or whatever your topic could be. Hey there. I have a WordPress. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Also, when you are posting on Facebook, it's good to have a combination. Like some people will just share their link, but you can also share an image and include your link with the image as well. And we're going to touch bases on the different types of images that you can share on the different social media channels as well. Hey there, the lovely photog. It's good to see you, Lachey. I appreciate you for jumping in and supporting tonight. Okay, so we talked about social media and how to share it out yourself on your social media channels and just having that be a part of your syndication. And for those of y'all that are just joining in, you're like, what's she talking about? Welcome to episode 4 of So You Want to Blog. It's a 6-week series where we are talking about just how to kickstart and launch your own blog. So whether you already have one in place or if you are looking to really start one from scratch, we have 6 weeks of content where we are showing you just how to do that. And so we have talked about just what a blog is and the blogging basics. We've talked about SEO, search engine optimization, how you can get seen. And we've also talked about how to create content for your blog so that you can regularly show up and provide information for the people that follow you. Awesome. Thank you, Alan. We appreciate that so much. So social media, make sure you're sharing yourself. So that's the big tip. Make sure when you post a blog post that you are sharing yourself out on a regular basis. And one thing that I also encourage people that I work with, I encourage them to create their own social media sharing schedule. So we talked about the content calendar. But you can also create a calendar as to when you post a new blog post, how often are you going to share it on the different channels that you have. So when you post that blog post, you want to, originally you want to immediately share it out and let people know that you have this new blog post article, but you want to follow up and share it consistently over the next week, the next month, the next year, depending on what type of content it is and how relevant it is, so that you can continue to get eyes on that piece and you continue to get additional reach on it and connect and educate people with the information that you're sharing. Yes, Pinterest and Twitter. We talked about Pinterest and Twitter as well. I love that you posted on both of those because both of those are great ways to engage and create a conversation and dialogue around the article and information that you're posting. Yes, Alan is very positive. We appreciate him. Okay, so let's talk about internal sharing tools. I have to get used to. So those of y'all that are joining in, I am using Ecamm for the first time on Periscope, and I really, really like it. I really, really like it. So I have to get used to the fact that now everything is in one space. So I keep wanting to get drawn into the conversations over here. Because I'm so used to looking down to see the comments, and now I get to look over to the side and I can see everything. So it's a learning curve. It's a learning curve. So thank you all for jumping in and joining and supporting, and y'all are all a part of my initial Ecamm broadcast. Yay! Applause. Okay, so internal sharing tools. Essentially, this is just the things that you have set up on your blog to make it easy for the people that follow you to share it. There are different plugins that you can use depending on if you're on WordPress. In Blogger has it as well, if you use the Blogger platform. And I think even when you use like Squarespace and other types of blogs, there are ways that you can hard code that information in there. But you always want to have something on your website to allow people to share your content out. Because you never know how people want to get that information out. By not having that on there, essentially you're telling people, I don't want you to share my stuff. I want you to read it, and I want you to just keep it all to yourself. That's not what we want. That's not what we want. We want people to share. So you may have noticed that when you're on certain blog or websites, at the bottom, almost all websites have them now, where there are little buttons that you can push where it will automatically generate the text for you and share it out to whatever platforms you are. So most people will share it. You can share it where it automatically creates a tweet for you, where it'll share it to Facebook, where it'll share it to Google+. You can pin it. If you have an image on it, you're able to pin it. Share, 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 share. Exactly. That's what we're talking about tonight, because it's so important to get additional reach and additional eyes on your content, because y'all are creating like amazing content and you want as many people as possible to be able to see it. And then they also have it to where you can share it via email, where they can create a PDF version of it and share it to people, and it'll still link back to your site. So there's all kinds of different ways that people will share. Just because you do not use a social media platform doesn't mean that you shouldn't have that share tool on your website. Because just because you're not on Pinterest doesn't mean that the people that are reading your blog don't want to share it on Pinterest. Just because you don't use Google Plus on a regular basis doesn't mean that the people that are reading your blog and come and find you, that they're not going to want to share that content on Google Plus. So you want to make sure that you have ways you make it easy for people to share. Something else that I like to do within my articles as well, and we're going to touch on this a little bit more when we talk about just kind of taking it up to the next level. I like to have what I call tweetable moments within the blog post. So I may pull out a quote, I may pull out an action step or an action item, something that's going to really speak to the reader, and I'm going to kind of highlight that to where they can easily, it's called click to tweet. That's what I use on my website. But all they have to do is click the button, and it automatically generates a tweet that posts to Twitter for them, and it has the verbiage already done, so they don't even have to think about it. It has the verbiage done for them. It has a link to the blog post, and then it says that it was written by me. So it's attached to my user, my Twitter handle is in it as well. So that way, if somebody shares it, I get a notification. And then that way I can go and I can engage with that person. I can let them know, you know what, thank you. I appreciate you for reading my content. I appreciate you for sharing it with your community. And if anybody else retweets it or shares, I get that notification as well. So that's another way for me to not only get more eyes on my content, but I can also grow my Twitter community as well, because I'm engaging and I'm following and I'm talking to the people that are sharing my content as well. My website is called Divas with a Purpose, Ellen. Thank you so much for asking that. And Mommy in Color says, I love easy share options on blogs I follow. Yes. Yes, if I have to search down how to share your content, I'm just not going to do it. Like if it's not big and bold and easy, typically it's going to be either on the side of your page or it's going to be down at the bottom. If I can't do it, or if I have to go through a whole lot of steps to be able to share your content, I'm not going to do it. It's like, this is too much work. And so you want to make it as easy as possible for your readers to be able to share your content and get that information out to other people. Okay. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is newsletters. Newsletters, okay? Sharing your blog posts with the people that have signed on to your newsletters is, number one, they've already said that they're interested in your content because they signed up for your newsletter. You can do something as simple as saying new blog post and including a link to the blog post and maybe like a quick intro to it and a photo. It doesn't have to be a really long newsletter that you send out. Or you can give some background information. So, one of the benefits of being a part of your newsletter community is that you post this article, but they kind of get a behind the scenes. So you can give them more information. You can get a little bit more personal maybe with your newsletter crew. You may be able to promote or upsell them on things that you have that tie in. So if you have any products or services that tie into that blog post, you can talk about that. And then you can also say, this is free information that's on my website that you can read that can get you started. If you want to learn more, if you want to take it to the next level, go ahead and purchase this product, or go ahead and sign up for a consultation with me or coaching with me or whatever. Mommy in color, did you just say that you don't have a newsletter? So that is something that's going to be your assignment for this week, okay? You can go, I'll send you some free links, but there's so many places that you can go and set up a free account. MailChimp is one that you can set up a free account up, and I think it's up to like 500 signups before you even have to pay for it. And so you're able to just send out simple newsletters to people once they sign up as well. And the importance of, you're like, Michelle, well, why do I need to have a newsletter? The same way we talked about the importance of having a blog is because it's yours. It's something that you own. So, Facebook, if Facebook doesn't like something you say, they can take it down. Twitter, Pinterest, all of those things. Your newsletter list, your email list, that's yours. There's certain rules and regulations that you have to follow with newsletters, but it's your list. This is, even if you have 10,000 followers, if you have 10,000 people that like your Facebook page, but you have 0 emails, you have none of those people's emails, what happens if you accidentally post something against the Facebook terms of service, or somebody reports your page for whatever reason and Facebook totally shuts down your Facebook page? You have no way of connecting with those 10,000 people. What if, and this has happened before because I think when Twitter goes down, so let's say that you're very, very active on Twitter. There are times where Twitter will just completely go down and we all freak out. But if Twitter is down, you can go in and you can send a really quick email to your newsletter list and say, don't panic, don't fret, Twitter's down, but here's some great reading for you to keep you busy until it comes back up as well. So have a newsletter, okay? Make sure that you are creating a newsletter because there's so much that you can do with the newsletter that you can continue to build your community. And if you are blogging as a business owner, you are able to really monetize your list and find different ways for you to be able to sell more products and sell more services as well, okay? So we talked about that. We talked about the importance of making it easy to share. We talked about the importance of pulling tweetable posts, okay? So tweetable links and comment and content when you're writing your blog article. And there'll be times like you'll be writing out an article and you'll be like, ooh, that's a good tip. When you have those moments, you can just pull that out, you can bold it, and that can be something that when I'm going to share this on Twitter or when I share this to my Facebook page, I'm going to make that like something that I highlight within this article so that it will bring in more people to read it as well. Now, let's talk about images really quick because you want to have images on your website and on your blog post to where people, number one, is visually appealing. So you're able to break up all of the text. Okay, so most blog posts are going to be about 300 to 500 words. Some people will write longer ones where they're up to 2,000 words. But but when you have those blocks of text, sometimes that can be overwhelming for some people to read. So having images in between that text will kind of draw the reader's eye into certain areas, but it also allows you to give them a simple way to share your content. Because if you think about it, what are the things on social media that draws your attention in? If somebody just shares a link, or if somebody shares a picture that speaks to you, an image that speaks to you, are you more willing to go and take a look at that, click through the link, and learn more about it as well? Yay! I'm glad. I'm so excited. So what I do, let me do this one. Okay. To make it really easy, because y'all know I like easy peasy. Y'all know I like easy peasy. I'm trying to make this as simple for each and every single one of us because I want you to actually do these things. I don't want these to be steps and information that you take, but you don't actually apply within your businesses. So I have a template set up on my website. And if you go to my more recent articles on my website, most of my large images look exactly like this. You're going to see text at the top that has like the keywords of that article. So that's another reason why we want to pick out keywords. And then at the bottom, I will have, additional text to kind of tie it in all together. It's going to have my website, and then it's going to have my name. And then I just change. I'm sitting here moving my my arrow on my mouse around like y'all can see it. But then I'm going to have an image. I'm going to have an image that I switch out. So I have different images that I switch out. In each article I have one large photo that's like this. And then I have a smaller image that's like this, okay? And so the smaller image, again, I'll have a image that's in the background, and then I have the title with additional text underneath it, and then it has my website on it. That's it. This part, all I have to do is go in there and quickly change the image. I do all of this in Canva. So all I have to do is find, I'm either going to use a stock image, or if it's a more personal article, there'll be pictures that I've taken myself of either my family, my children, or products or whatever that we're using, places that we visited. I just have to go in there and switch those images out, change the title, download it, and upload it to my blog. And the reason why I have the two different images is because this image here, I'm going to use this to share on Twitter. So when I am sharing information on Twitter, this type of photo looks better on Twitter. This is formatted so that if someone shares this blog post on Twitter, they can do it. This one is formatted so that if someone shares it on Pinterest, it's easy for them to just hover over it on my website and they're able to pin it. So when I add these images to my website, I have a description so that it's, when you add photos to your website, whatever you set up as your description for that photo, when people share it, that's the verbiage that's going to show up. So you want to make sure when you're adding images to your articles that you have a really good synopsis of it. It only has to be like maybe 1 to 2 sentences. I will put my user handle. So like if it's for Pinterest, I will put my user handle on Pinterest. So if people share it, they can easily come back to me as well. Or if they share it on Twitter, it's going to come back to me and people will be able to connect with my main account as well. And then, oops, we don't want both of these on here. This image here, this is a good image that is formatted for Twitter, but if they share it on Google Plus, or also if they share it on Facebook, it's going to format it in a way that they're going to be able to see the key information as well. And again, once I set up these templates, it takes me maybe 5 minutes to find the photo, the image that I'm going to use for the template. I switch it out, I change the title, and I download it and upload it to my website. And I'm done. Simple as that. So once you create on the back end, you create the templates and you decide the font combination that you want to use, the information that you want to use, you'll then be able to quickly just go ahead and add those images to your website so that you're able to have some visually appealing images within your blog post. And so if it's a longer article that I'm writing, so if it's more than 500 words, then I may put in some other images as well. And I typically will have the images be this dimension so that it breaks up the text and I don't have a lot of large blocks of text that are written that are on my blog post. Okay, so that's it, y'all. That was our episode 5 of So You Want to Blog. We're talking about, you've written a blog post, what comes next? Once you've written it, now we got to share it. We got to get more eyes on it. And so we provided some ways for us to go ahead and do that. These are going to be the 3 main things that we focus on in the beginning to make it super simple for us to be able to share this information. So we're going to make sure that we are personally sharing it on social media, that we have internal sharing tools in place to make it easier for our readers to share our content out. And then we also have a newsletter set up so that we're sharing that content with our newsletter subscribers as well and pushing them back to our blog post so that they're able to read our information, encouraging them to share it with other people that will find that content information good for them. So y'all know how we're going to end. Y'all know how we end each and every single episode. We have a quick little simple assignment for you to complete so that you are able to actually implement these steps. So the purpose of this series is that we want to make sure that we're taking actionable steps so that we're able to really launch our blog. So your actionable step for this week is I want you to create your image templates. So I'm going to show those again. Nope, that's not what I wanted to hide. I want you to create 2 image templates, okay? So you're going to do your long form one so that it's easy for you to create these for each of your blog post articles. So I want you to do your large one. If you're in Canva, they actually already have templates that are set up for Pinterest or blog posts that you can use. And then I want you to, I keep doing that. I want you to set up your Twitter version of it as well. Okay, so that's your assignment for this week. And because if you've been following along with it, we already have some topics set up. You may even be able to start plugging in your blog post titles within your images, so it'll be even easier for you to add that information in when you're ready to actually write down your blogs. Okay, so that's your assignment. Let's get to it. Make sure you're following the hashtag So You Want to Blog. If there are any questions that come up throughout the week that you have while you are, one else that I keep giving more work to her assistant. Hey, she's earning her keep. You tell her I said you're welcome because I'm making sure that she has consistent work to do. And stay employed, to stay gainfully employed by you. Yes, you need to do that on your WordPress. So if you have any questions throughout the week while you are creating your graphics, or if you watch any of the previous episodes and you have any questions, feel free to use the hashtag So You Want to Blog, and you can tag me at DivaMDGarrett. My handle is in the title for this broadcast, and I will be available on Twitter to answer those questions for you. And I will see you all next week for the final episode of our 6-week series, So You Want to Blog, where we're going to talk about what comes next. Okay, so I'm glad you're excited about this assignment. Lovely Photog, I think, it's photography. It's something, it's creating graphics, so it's something that is going to be great. I love you too, Janice. Thank you so much for supporting, and make sure you share this out with anyone that needs this content and this information. You all have an amazing, amazing week, and I will see you next Monday. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. So here's the fun part. I need to figure out how to stop. Oh, this is so funny. Y'all know I'm silly, right? I can't figure out how to close it. Oh, here we go. I found it. And thank you all for helping me with my first broadcast using Ecamm. Bye, y'all. I'm done, y'all, because I'm going to start giggling and Alan's going to start talking about me.